Michael Jordan was in the middle of the most important shot of the game when he heard something that made him stop everything. A child's cry from the crowd cut through 20,000 screaming fans, and what Jordan did next had never been done in NBA history. It was May 14th, 1998, Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals at the United Center in Chicago. The Bulls were down by 1 point, with 8 seconds left on the clock. This wasn't just any game, this was potentially Michael Jordan's last chance to reach his 6th NBA Finals. The arena was electric with tension. 20,000 fans were on their feet, screaming at the top of their lungs. The noise was deafening, the pressure immense. Jordan had the ball, and everyone in that building knew he was about to attempt the shot that would either send them to the finals or end their season. But as Jordan prepared for what could be the most crucial shot of his career, something cut through all that noise. A sound that shouldn't have been audible over the roar of 20,000 people, but somehow reached his ears with crystal clarity. It was the sound of a child crying, not just any crying. This was the heart-wrenching sob of a little boy who was clearly in distress. Jordan paused, his eyes scanning the crowd, trying to locate where the sound was coming from. His teammates were signaling for him to focus on the game. The coach was shouting instructions from the sideline. The opposing team was setting up their defense. But Michael Jordan, the man known for his laser focus and killer instinct, was looking into the stands for a crying child. What Jordan saw in section 108, row 12, made him forget about basketball entirely. A 6-year-old boy named Tommy Martinez was sitting with his father, but he wasn't watching the game. He was crying uncontrollably, holding his stomach and rocking back and forth in obvious pain. Tommy's father, Roberto Martinez, was frantically trying to calm his son while also trying to flag down security for help. Roberto was a construction worker who had saved for 8 months to buy these tickets as a surprise for Tommy's birthday. This was supposed to be the best day of his son's life. Instead, Tommy had been struck with severe stomach pain that had been building throughout the game. Roberto didn't have health insurance, and he was torn between getting his son help and not wanting to ruin this once-in-a-lifetime experience they'd been planning for months. With 8 seconds left on the clock, with his legacy on the line, with 20,000 people expecting him to take the shot, Michael Jordan did something unprecedented. He called timeout. Not a regular timeout. He used the team's final timeout. His teammates looked at him in confusion. The coach started to protest. The crowd didn't understand what was happening. Timeout. Jordan shouted to the referee, pointing directly into the stands where Tommy was crying. The referee looked confused but granted the timeout. The United Center fell into a confused murmur as everyone tried to understand why Michael Jordan had just used their last timeout when they needed every second to set up the final play. Jordan walked straight to the scorer's table and grabbed the microphone from the announcer. "Ladies and gentlemen," his voice echoed through the arena, "there's a little boy in section 108 who needs help. I need everyone to clear a path for the medical team to get to him." The entire arena went silent. 20,000 people turned to look at section 108. Security immediately began moving toward Tommy and his father, but Jordan wasn't done. He jogged over to the stands, climbing over the barrier and making his way through the crowd to where Tommy was sitting. The little boy looked up through his tears and saw Michael Jordan, his hero, kneeling down in front of him. "Hey, buddy," Jordan said softly. "What's your name, Tommy?" the boy whispered through his tears. "Tommy, I'm going to make sure you get the help you need, okay? But first, can you do me a favor? Can you be brave for me?" Tommy nodded, and Jordan did something that left everyone speechless. He took off his Chicago Bulls jersey, the jersey he was wearing in a potential finals clinching game, and carefully placed it around Tommy's shoulders. "This is my lucky jersey, Tommy. I want you to wear it while the doctors check you out. And when you're feeling better, you keep it, okay?" The arena medics had arrived and were examining Tommy. It turned out he had acute appendicitis and needed immediate surgery. Without Jordan's intervention, Tommy could have been in serious danger. But the story doesn't end there. As the medics were preparing to take Tommy to the hospital, Jordan did something else that no one saw coming. He turned to Roberto Martinez, Tommy's father. "Sir, what's your name?" "Roberto Martinez, Mr. Jordan. I can't thank you enough. Roberto, your son is going to be fine, but I want you to know that all of Tommy's medical bills are taken care of. Everything. And when he's recovered, I want both of you to come to our next home game as my personal guests." Jordan climbed back over the barrier and returned to the court. But now they had no timeouts left, and there were still 8 seconds on the clock. The crowd was no longer focused on the game. They were all standing, applauding not for a basketball play, but for an act of human kindness they had just witnessed. Jordan's teammates looked at him with a mixture of awe and concern. They had just used their last timeout. They had no way to set up a play, and they were still down by 1 point. "Don't worry about it," Jordan told them. "We've got this." What happened next became one of the most legendary moments in NBA history. With no timeout to set up a play, with the opposing team knowing exactly what was coming, Michael Jordan took the inbound pass, dribbled twice, and pulled up for a jump shot from 20 feet away. The ball arced through the air as 20,000 people held their breath. The Bulls won 89-88, advancing to the NBA Finals. But for the first time in Jordan's career, the winning shot wasn't the most important thing that happened that night. Tommy's surgery was successful, and he made a full recovery. True to his word, Jordan paid for all of Tommy's medical expenses, over $50,000 in total. But more importantly, Jordan and Tommy developed a friendship that lasted for years. Tommy attended dozens of Bulls games as Jordan's personal guest, and Jordan visited him regularly during his recovery. "That night taught me something," Jordan said years later. "I thought winning was everything, but there are things more important than any game, any championship, any record. Sometimes the most important shot you can take is the one where you choose to help someone else." The video of Jordan stopping the game for Tommy went viral before viral was even a thing. It was replayed on every sports network, every news channel, and became one of the most shared sports clips in history. But more importantly, it inspired other athletes to use their platforms for good. The Jordan standard became an unspoken rule among professional athletes, that sometimes the game stops for real life. Tommy Martinez is now 31 years old and works as a pediatric nurse. He says that night with Jordan inspired him to dedicate his life to helping children. He still has Jordan's jersey. Michael Jordan went on to win his 6th NBA championship that year. But when people ask him about his greatest moment, he doesn't talk about the 6 rings or the 5 MVP awards. He talks about the night he chose a crying child over a basketball game. "People remember the shots I made," Jordan reflects, "but I'll always remember the shot I didn't take, because sometimes the greatest victories happen when you stop keeping score." The lesson from that night in Chicago is simple but powerful. Greatness isn't just about what you achieve for yourself. It's about what you sacrifice for others. And sometimes the most important 8 seconds of your life have nothing to do with winning a game. If this incredible story of compassion and human connection moved you, Make sure to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear about the power of putting people before performance. Have you ever witnessed a moment when someone stopped everything to help another person? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to ring that notification bell for more amazing true stories about sports legends who showed us what real greatness looks like.